Hello viewers, this is Distinction Learning Center, the light of education. Our tutorial for today is still statistics in details, in which we are moving to the third lecture, which is statistics data. Statistics data. Now, what is statistics data? These are numeric facts or information which can be measured or given a numerical qualification. Statistics data are derived through the process of measuring, counting, and or observing. Now, what this is trying to explain is statistics data. These are raw facts that are generated from measuring, counting, observing. That is, any kind of raw fact that pass through any statistical work. For example, either through collection of data, analyzing of data, measuring, counting, observing. Now, this particular exercise is called what? Statistics data, and it is usually measured in form of number or non-number. That is, it can be what? It can be measured in form of number, or it can be present in form of number or what? Or letters. So that is what we call what? Statistics data. Let's now proceed to the next section, which is what? Classification of data. Now, we have two types of classification of data. We have quantitative data and what? And qualitative data. Now, what is quantitative data? These are data that can be expressed numerically or quantified in the finite unit or measurement. Now, quantitative data, these are data that can be expressed in form of number. If I ask you that, how old are you? What are you going to tell me? You tell me that I'm 20. Now, since my response is 20, so that means my data is what? Is quantitative data. Since my response is in form of number, so it's going to be what? Quantitative data. Now, let's now look at the example here. Age of student taking STS 102. So now, once I'm asking about the age of student, so my response, so then what I will expect from the student will be what? Will be number. Because age of student taking STS 102 is either they tell me that their age is 18, 12, 20. So my result will be in form of numbers. So as a result of this, what I will expect is what? Quantitative data. Now, score of UTME exam. That is, when I'm trying to work on the scores of what? UTME exam. So my result will be on what? Will be on quantitative data, because the score can never be in form of letter. It will be in form of what? Numbers. So it can be 320, it can be 320, it can be 180, etc., etc. So this kind of data is called what? Quantitative data. Now, let's now move to the second one. Which is what? Qualitative data. Now, quantitative data, these are data that cannot express in number or quantified in unit of measurement. Now, that is, these are data that cannot measure in form of what? Number, or quantify in form of what? Measurement. That is, any kind of data that cannot be expressed in form of number, but can be expressed in form of letter, and even it cannot be measured. You cannot measure it. I get it. So that kind of data is called what? Qualitative data. Qualitative data. Now, let me now give you an example. If you are asked the blood group of someone, you know a blood group can never be in form of number. It is usually written in form of what? Letter. So it's an example of what? Qualitative data. And also sex. If I say sex, so you know sex can either be in form of male or what? Or female. So now once male or female is not a number, so we can call it what? Qualitative data. And also nationality. Nationality means the country where you belongs to. That is the citizen of that is the country where you belongs to. Let's just express it like that. That is, for example, if I ask you that what is your nationality, what you're going to tell me is that you Nigerian. That is, you are in Nigeria. So if you are from Ghana, you can say that what? Ghanaian. Are you getting it at all? So all this kind of data is called what? Qualitative data. Now let's now move to the next section, which is what? Sources of data. Sources of data. Now we have two sources of data. One, we have what? Primary data, and the second one we have what? Secondary data. Now, what is primary data? These are data collected directly from the respondents. They are regarded as first-hand information collected by the researcher. Example of primary data can be obtained from census to survey. Now, what this particular section is trying to explain is that is, in a simple form, primary data means the act of collecting data by yourself. The act of collecting data by yourself without any reference from previous work. Now, let me give this as an example. Let's say you are working on the total number of secondary school students in Ogun State. Total number of secondary school students in Ogun State. So if you want to embark on primary data, what are you going to do? So that means you will need to be going to school one by one and be counting all the students in the school one by one. That is, let's say for instance now in Abeokuta here, that means you need to go to Abeokuta Grammar School, you will go to Afro Grammar School, you go to Reverend Kuti Memorial Grammar School. You will be counting the students by yourself, one by one. So until you finish the data. So that is what we call what? Primary data. And it is mostly expressed through what? It is mostly performed through what? Census and what? Survey. Are you getting it? So that is what we call what? Primary data. Now, let's now move to the second one, which is the last section on the platform. Now, so secondary data. These are data already in form of published or unpublished source. Examples are journal publication and two, research or media organization. Secondary data, in a simple form, is just like an opposite of what? Of primary data. Now, secondary data, these are data that are not collected by you, but it is the work of another person that you now use in your work. Are you getting it? That is, if you say that, okay, you want to work, maybe you have a project topic about what? The total number of students in Ogun State Secondary School. So, instead of you to be disturbing yourself or stressing yourself, so you want to embark on what? On secondary school, on secondary data. What are you going to do? You will look to the internet, or you will look at the newspaper or any kind of publications. You will look at it to generate your result from what? From another person's work. From another person's work. For example, maybe someone has done it before, and it has been written on the internet. So once you just log in into your into the website, or you search through the Google site, you type the number of students in Ogun State. So immediately you see the total number of students in Ogun State. So that means you are not the one that generates the data. So someone has generated it before, but you just make use of it in your own work. So that is what we call what? Secondary data. So that is everything about statistics data. Now I hope you understand everything we have been doing since. I'm very sure. Please go through it again. Try to understand it. It's going to be useful for you in any kind of statistics exam. I still remain Simid from Distinction Learning.